We back. We back. All Black Everything. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Appreciate you for tuning in, checking it out. All Black Everything. We talk about everything black here. You know what I'm saying? From literature, books, um, music. Today, we doing an extension of All Black Everything. We doing Learn With Me / Pick Up a Book. You know what I'm saying? Since I can't do it on my other platform, I'm doing it right here. But it does still pertain to being black amongst other things. So it's not just for being black. So, but it does tie into it. So we go ahead and share this information. The Communist Manifesto. Boom. Karl Marx, Frederick Engles. Get you a copy. Don't take my word for it. Check it out. Just sharing this information. We're gonna pick up right where we left off. I do not own the rights to this music. It's that King Benny Man still. We still jamming to it. Yeah, let's get it. Um, and it continues on. We in chapter 1 still. Bourgeois versus proletarians. You know, gotta show y'all where we at still. We keeping track. But here it goes. It is enough to mention the commercial crises that by their periodical return put the existence of the entire bourgeois society on trial, each time more threateningly, yes, threateningly, as a tongue threateningly. In these crises, a great part not only of the existing products but also of the previously created productive forces are periodically destroyed. In these crises, there breaks out an epidemic that, in all earlier epochs, would have seemed an absurdity. The epidemic of overproduction. Society suddenly finds itself put back into a state of monetary barbarianism. It appears as if a famine, a universal war of devastation, had cut off the supply of every means of substance. Industry and commerce seem to be destroyed. And why? Because there is too much civilization, too much means of substance, too much industry, too much commerce. Excess. Get this, buy this, get that. Upgrade. See, too smart for your own good. Slow down and stop. Slow down and stop. How we going to continue? And it goes. The productive forces at the disposal of society no longer tend to further the development of the conditions of bourgeois property. On the contrary, they have become too powerful for these conditions, by which they are fettered, and no sooner do they overcome these fetters than they bring disorder into the whole of bourgeois society, endanger the existence of bourgeois property. The conditions of bourgeois society are too narrow to comprise the wealth created by them. And how does the bourgeois get over these crises? On the one hand, by enforced destruction of a mass of productive forces, on the other, by the conquest of new markets, and by more thorough exploitation of the old ones. That is to say, by paving the way for more extensive and more destructive crises, and by diminishing the means whereby crises are prevented. The weapons which these bourgeois filled feudalism to the ground are now turned against the bourgeois itself. But not only has the bourgeois forged the weapons that bring death to itself, it has also called into existence the men who are to wield those weapons, the modern working class, the proletarians. In in proportion as the bourgeois, i.e., capital, is developed, in the class developed a class of laborers who live only so long as they find work, and who find work only so long as their labor increases capital. These laborers who must sell themselves piecemeal, a commodity, are a commodity like every other article of commerce, and are consequently exposed to the ill, to all the vicissitudes of competition, to all the fluctuations of the market, owing to the extensive use of machinery, and to the division of labor. The work and the proletariats have lost all individual character and consequently all charm to the workman. He becomes an appendage of the machine and is only the most simple, most monotonous, and most easily acquired knack that is required of him. Hence, the cost of production in the workman is restricted almost entirely to the means of substance that he requires for his maintenance and for the propagation of his race. But the price of a commodity and therefore also of labor is equal to the cost of production. In proportion, therefore, the repulsiveness of the work increases and the wage decreases. Nay, more in proportion as the use of machinery and division of labor increases, in the same proportion, the burden of toil also increases, whether by prolongation of the working hours, by increase of the work enacted in a given time, or by increased speed of the machinery, etc. One more. Here we go. Modern industry has converted the little workshop of the patriarchal master into the great factory of the industrial capitalist. Masses of laborers, masses of laborers crowded into the factory are organized like soldiers. As privates of the industrial army, they are placed under the command of perfect hierarchy of officers and sergeants. Not only are they slaves of the bourgeois class and of the bourgeois state, they are daily and hourly enslaved by the machine, by the overlooker, and above all, by the individual bourgeois manufacturer himself. The more openly this disposition, deposition, excuse me, deposit, the more openly this despotism proclaims gain to be its end and aim, the more petty, the more hateful, and the more embittering it is. And we're going to end it right there for this session here. Learn with me / pick up a book on all black everything. Picking up right where we left off. When we come back, if you like it, share it, subscribe. Appreciate you for checking it out. We in here, get it through the algorithms, get those views up. Peace and love.